Hello, I'm Tom Moore, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are Super Bowl 55 champions.
I'm Sean McClellan, and the 2020 to 2021 NFL season is finally over.
I'm Manno, and Tom Brady truly is the greatest of all time.
I'm Finnegan Corcoran-Doolan, and if it wasn't for Eli Manning, Brady would have 9 rings.
Welcome to the final B&B Primetime NFL report of the 2021 season. And man, did it go out with a bang. Congratulations to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on a phenomenal season and winning the Vince Lombardi Trophy this past Sunday. Brady, with the help of former Patriots buddies Rob Gronkowski and Antonio Brown, they were able to silence Chiefs Kingdom.
Speaking about Chiefs Kingdom, Patrick Mahomes and the former reigning Super Bowl champions were only held to 9 points and not 1 touchdown. Harrison Butker was the only Chief racking up points in this game. The Chiefs were highly penalized, and their O-line was not giving Mahomes any help back in the pocket.
Tom Brady's got his 7th ring. Just proves how good of a quarterback he really is. If there's any doubt about who the greatest quarterback or football player of all time is, there's no debate anymore. It's Brady. Everyone knows my take on Brady being the GOAT. What's everybody else's take?
I do believe Tom Brady is sadly the GOAT. I don't like to say it at all. He ruined the Jets for 15 years, I think. 15 is a pretty solid guess. When you compare NFL greats, it's so hard to compare because you can't compare Tom Brady to Lawrence Taylor because one was a linebacker and one's a quarterback. You can't compare Deion Sanders to Tom Brady because one's a cornerback, the other's a quarterback. But when it all goes down, Tom Brady will be the most successful NFL player of all time. That does not mean he is the best talent of all time. That means he is the most successful of all time. In my opinion, I do believe there are about maybe 3 or so, maybe a couple more quarterbacks who have a better skill set and talent than Brady. The only thing with Brady, his awareness was too high for others to compete with. And he had the mastermind of the game, and he had the coaching. He made players better around him, and that's all I gotta say. Tom, what do you think about this?
Well, Q, I don't know if I said this on the last podcast, but this game was huge. It was huge in the way that you had Tom Brady going, like we said, the GOAT. The top player going against superstar Patrick Mahomes. And I honestly thought before this game was played that if Patrick Mahomes if he was able to beat Tom Brady in a successful way, Patrick Mahomes might have a shot to get at that level Tom Brady is. But you saw Tom Brady win. But on the other hand, if Brady won, I think that it's going to be very hard for Patrick Mahomes to get on the stage of where Tom Brady is. And don't get me wrong, the Chiefs will, I honestly think, have a shot of going back to the Super Bowl next year. They just need to work on their defense and other things. They had the pieces. They just weren't able to execute on Sunday. And that came down to coaching and little plays like that. But I would say Brady is the GOAT. He's the greatest of all time. Finn?
Yeah, well, I totally agree with you. You've seen the dominance of Brady over the years. He has 7 Super Bowl rings now. But I want to go back to Tom's point on the Chiefs could go back to the Super Bowl next year. Without a doubt, they could. They are a great team overall. It doesn't matter if they're in the regular season. Great team. It doesn't matter if they're in the playoffs. They're a great team. But I think there's another team that has a chance of going back to the Super Bowl next year, and that's Tampa Bay. I'm going to be honest with you. I wouldn't be surprised if we see this next year. The same matchup, but again, Mahomes didn't execute. It was really unfortunate. Didn't even get a touchdown. And they did not run the ball good either. You saw that. There was nobody really doing any good job. And I really want to bring up another point. I didn't feel that the Chiefs none of them were catching, like no wide receiver really was standing out for me except for Travis Kelce. He's a tight end now. But really, the Chiefs couldn't execute. And, Brady is the GOAT without a doubt.
And Finn, every point you just made, I think also relates to one big factor in this game, which is the Chiefs' O-line. They were missing Pro Bowl offensive tackle Eric Fisher. There was a lot of COVID cases going around with the Chiefs' O-line. They had to put in 3 backups who weren't even playing their main positions. That had a big thing to do with it, especially Super Bowl time. With this young Bucs defense who has been progressing throughout the year. They got Villa back when it mattered the most. Devin White, maybe the best middle linebacker right now in football. And it just gave an opportunity for these young guys to blossom.
Well, I think the Chiefs should have signed Eli Manning for a one-day contract so he could beat Brady in the Super Bowl.
Maybe they could have used him, Finn. My opinion on why it looked like Mahomes playing under pressure was because of offensive line. Q just stated it. They were giving him nothing, no time to work with. He was consistently getting taken down and even hard to throw. And he was even throwing 1 inches off the ground. And it hurts. You see the difference between a backup or offensive line and a starting offensive line. They dealt with injuries, and COVID-19 played a big impact on it too. The center was in contact with the barber that tested positive a couple of days before. So it was all a big factor, and it definitely played an impact because you had on the defensive line JPP 8-0 in the postseason. He's a big time player. Sue, Shaq Barrett, and like you said, Devin White, Levante David, I think possibly the best 2 linebackers working as a duo in the middle right there. So it's hard for the Chiefs. And if anybody gets credit, it's that Buccaneers defense. They shut down Patrick Mahomes, the best offense in the league. They get the most credit this game. Don't get me wrong, Brady, won MVP, but it's hard to stop Patrick Mahomes. And the Bucs showed it on Sunday.
Tom, I totally agree with you, and especially that Bucs defense in the 3rd and 4th quarter. Everybody watched the Super Bowl here, obviously, but if you watched that defense, that was the best defense from the Bucs all season. I felt that was really good. And you're against the Chiefs' offense. Wow. And again, you brought up a great point, Tom. I think I was almost forgetting about how good those linebackers are. Outside linebackers, inside linebackers. Yeah. I mean, you have Levante David, Shaq Barrett, Devin White, who's like a really good prospect coming up in the future. Really good. And of course, Jason Pierre-Paul, who was a former Giant, and he now has his 2nd Super Bowl ring. So really some great players and really good linebackers. Agreed.
Hey, Finn, I'm just make a prediction here. So everyone remembers Super Bowl 53 when the Patriots, our defense was shaky, was a little shaky all year, was a little inconsistent at times.
Here we go again, baby.
Oh, boy. And then in the Super Bowl, we showed up.
Strap on the seatbelts.
Held a trailblazing offense in the LA Rams.
The comment section is free for all you guys, by the way.
The second coming of the greatest show on turf, that some people would say. Because the Rams offense, it was good. Goff, Gurley, it was a good offense.
Did you just say it's the second greatest?
That's what I heard it like one time that year. I didn't understand what they were saying.
That was the worst Super Bowl I've ever seen in my life.
Absolutely not. No way. I just heard it one time. Someone was saying it. That's what people were calling it. I didn't see it, but some people called it that way. Our defense went on a rampage that game, and it set up one of the best statistical seasons. Next year, our defense was one of the best statistically ever. I think that happens with the Buccaneers. I don't know how far the Bucs will go next year, but I think that defense will be statistically great. Possibly top 5 all time.
Well, Manno, back to your point. There's one person you need to, Bucs fans need to thank a lot, and of course,
Did you call me a Bucs fan? Did you just call me a Bucs fan?
No, I said Bucs fans. You're wearing a Brady jersey. Of course you're a Patriots fan. You have a Super Bowl hat on like a little kid.
This isn't a Super Bowl hat, but I can put one on if you want me to.
Don't even. Okay. So, back, sadly, as coming from a Jets fan, the number one person, the guy who should have gotten Super Bowl MVP, but obviously can't get it, Todd Bowles. Of course, coming from a Jets fan, former Jets head coach, was god-awful. He's the mastermind behind that defense. He read everything. He knew where Mahomes' plays were going. He knew where the runs were going. He knew where the passes were at. He just read it perfectly. I give him credit. He's the best coordinator in the league right now. I think that's not a discussion. So, that's all I got to say about that. Anyways, I do, however, think that this game was very humbling for the Chiefs after 3 amazing seasons and 1 Super Bowl victory. This was the first time since Week 11 in 2017 that the Kansas City Chiefs did not score a touchdown. That's insane right there. Say what you want about them in Super Bowl 55, but that just goes to show how dominant the Chiefs have been.
Definitely. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a rematch in the Super Bowl next year, unless we decide to pop off, find a receiver somewhere, play way over our heads, and knock the Chiefs out. I don't think it'll happen, but anything goes, anything's possible.
Manno, just stop right there. Patriots need a quarterback if they want to get anywhere in the future.
Oh, I know, but the Giants, they have Daniel Jones, and don't forget where they took him. 6th overall.
Well, he's better than the Jets this season. Wow, that feels refreshing to say after a few weeks of not mentioning them. Now I'm just sad again.
Okay, so I have to ask this. There's been a lot of blame being thrown around for this game. Who gets it? The refs, the Chiefs' offensive line, the Chiefs' defense, maybe even Mahomes. If you say that, I don't know what to tell you. I'm gonna start it off. I think the blame goes on. I think the Chiefs can very easily blame coronavirus because of the whole COVID situation with the offensive line. But there's no excuses. This is the Super Bowl. You need to be prepared for every possibility. The Chiefs had to have expected some sort of, they had to have been prepared for COVID. They weren't. So I put this loss on the Chiefs coaching staff for not being prepared for every single situation in the game. And they got exposed, they got out-coached, and that's why the score was 31-9 instead of 31-27.
Manno, I'm going to somewhat agree with you, but my blame isn't going to go to COVID-19. It's going to go to Andy Reid. The reason I say that...
I agree with you there. That's what I'm saying. I agree with you.
Yeah, the reason I say that is, what you threw out, the refs, they're refs. They're not the Kansas City Chiefs. They're not the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They're refs. They're reffing the game, and they're doing their job. Patrick Mahomes is under the direction of Andy Reid, and so is the offensive line. So it's Andy Reid's job to put them in check, right? You have 2 weeks. Mitchell Schwartz is out. Eric Fisher's out. You have 2 weeks to gather something in between the AFC Championship game and the Super Bowl to figure out who's going to be your starting lineup for the Super Bowl. And, if Andy Reid failed, he failed. And Kansas City Chiefs saw the results. So, that's just my opinion. But, stuff like that, it comes back to bite you. Q, what do you think?
Andy Reid, I guess, is a good point because of the O-line and how he could have been prepared better. Obviously, I'm agreeing with Manno. COVID, you can't do much about it. You can prepare, but at some point, it's too challenging of a task to handle. The O-line definitely was the reason for this game. But not even just the O-line. The defense was not that good. You can't... The offense doesn't control the defense. They didn't control the 31 points the Buccaneers scored. It's defense. Tyrann Mathieu was having a horrible game. He let Brady inside his head. There was no pressure. There was 3 pressures from the Chiefs defense, while the Buccaneers set in 28 pressures. I blame 1, the O-line, and 2 of the defense. The defense had to do a lot better of a job. Finn, what do you think?
Tyrann Mathieu was just not on top of his game. hailing him as one of the top safeties in the game heading into this game on the show before. And now after this, I don't want to hear any of it. I don't want to hear any of the best safety in the game.
It's one game. It's one game.
I know, but but just he was so far off his game, and he was acting so toxic on the field that he got Tom Brady of all players to start trash talking him and said, "We're gonna go after you all game." He literally told him right into his face. Matthew goes, "You're not getting a touchdown to me." "Oh yeah, I'll be going for." Brady goes, "Oh yeah, I'll be going for you all game." What did he do? Scores a touchdown right on Tyrann Mathieu to Antonio Brown.
Well, I don't know about the whole Tyrann Mathieu whole situation there, but look, Manno, I agree with you earlier on that one. COVID-19 has been really hard all season for really every team. I mean, we look back in the crazy season of the 2020-2021 season. The Broncos at one point didn't have a quarterback, so they had to go for a wide receiver. It's been all season that, unfortunately, with COVID-19, players are not going to be maybe there. So, yeah, really unfortunate for the Chiefs. But I think I agree with, like Tom here. Like Tom said, look, but you have to be ready for this. You have to. So, look, I think the O-line wasn't ready. I saw Mahomes all game running for his life. It was so bad. When I tell you, I mean, he did so well not to get sacked at times. I remember this one play. He was getting sacked and he threw an absolute dime to a player, and the player unfortunately didn't catch it. Would have been a first down, maybe a touchdown. Who knows? Look, it doesn't matter. Did Andy Reid coach the game well? Probably not. No, because he's coaching Patrick Mahomes. And with everybody else here, that defense was not good. I'm gonna be honest with you, but it's Tom Brady. So Tom Brady is gonna break down that defense, and he scored 31 points on them. And there you go. That's really all I can say there. Yeah.
All right, boys, we're getting a little off topic here, but another question, and this is the real question: where do you guys rank the weekend Super Bowl halftime show? Top 10 of all time, top 15? Manno, start it off.
Okay, so definitely inside the top 15. Top 10, not really too sure about that. But I just want to say the backup dances, I know people didn't like them. I absolutely loved it, especially in the early parts of halftime show where they were just dancing off in the backs. Like they were just like doing some crazy weird dances in the background. I found that hilarious, and for what reason I don't know, but I thought it was a really good halftime. And the only thing you definitely you gotta consider your demographic, who's gonna be watching the show, and considering how well TikTok's doing right now, especially with all the controversy with Juju and him doing the TikTok dances on the midfield logo. So the NFL has some rep with TikTok already. They're already been closely intertwined before. Why not do the TikTok dance during blinding lights? It just made sense considering your demographic. Would have resonated with a lot of different people. I think that was just the one missed opportunity, but other than that, it was a pretty good halftime show. So that's what I think. What do you think here?
I wanted to vomit. The cameras were horrible. I wanted to throw up in front of my TV. It was horrible. How did you like it? Oh my god, he was moving the camera with his hand and
that part I didn't like. Okay.
I turned off the TV for a second because my eyes were that bad. They hurt that bad. He was
your eyesight cannot be worse than mine, okay? If I was able to handle it, you should have been able to handle it.
I couldn't, okay? I just couldn't. And
the blinding lights tunnel, whatever that part was, where he was a good 2 feet from the camera, that made no sense to me. I think we can all agree that
for what he did during this challenging time and getting prepared and stuff with COVID and having a whole performance ready, I give him credit on that. But my god, do better. That was horrible. Finn, what did you think of that atrocity I had watched?
So I think it was pretty good under the circumstances of COVID-19. But I think I think it's top 15. I will say the camera angles were whoa, yeah, but I think it was really good. Some of his songs are very good. Like they're hits, so they're very very good songs. I think I liked it under the circumstances. Yeah, that's what I would say. I think top 15. I don't know about top 10 though. It was pretty good. Yeah.
Maybe not even top 20. Well, wherever this halftime show lies on your list, I'm sure the shows will keep getting better, I guess. So wrapping up this final episode, we're going to give our final thoughts on the season and make a bold prediction of next season. I believe next year's Super Bowl champions will be the Buffalo Bills. I think Josh Allen.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
Josh Allen was right there. He's going to get better next year. He's going to get closer with Diggs. The defense is amazing in Buffalo. Everything there is amazing.
Draft a linebacker in the first round, you're set.
Agreed. And I think the Bills, maybe if you're the Bills, Cole Beasley's starting to get older. Maybe you look at maybe drafting a wide receiver maybe in this upcoming draft just so he can learn from Cole Beasley maybe a little.
Such a deep receiver class. Absolutely.
Right?
Second round, third round.
Maybe
you can wait till the fourth. Maybe get the guy from Louisville, Atwell. I think you can absolutely find a gem deep in the draft for a receiver. Patriots, take notes. Get a receiver, please.
Patriots is still going to be bad next year. Anyways.
Oh, please.
Well, I'm going to focus on my Jets for a sec. Too much to handle. I believe this draft, they might actually have a good shot at trading for Deshaun Watson. I think they're going to sign one of the top receivers because it was reported recently that the Jets are willing to give a lot of money to either Will Fuller or Juju Smith-Schuster, or even Allen Robinson, or even Kenny Golladay, or even Chris Godwin. They're willing to give up that money. I don't see them signing a running back. I feel like they're going to use their draft picks for that. They're going to probably trade Darnold if they obviously get Watson. Darnold's out. You use your late round pick you get for Darnold. You get a running back, Najee Harris or Travis Etienne, in Finn's eyes, the next Alvin Kamara. But
you still don't understand that, Finn.
No one does. But I think the Jets will be okay next year. I don't think they'll be a playoff team, but you'll see that.
Sound good?
No. I think they'll have 500. 8-8. I think 8-8. I think it's a solid year for the Jets. I think they'll get better. The coaching's there. They'll have Watson. They'll have a good receiver. Then you just got to focus on the defense. That's your only problem.
If this year's Patriots team could go 7-9, there's absolutely no way the Jets, the way they are right now, are going 8-8. Absolutely no way.
I have no way. There's no way the Patriots are going 9-7 or anything next year. They have no quarterback. Trey Lance is not fixing that either. Let's go to the other side of MetLife Stadium with Finn. What do you got?
Well, let me say, Sean, that's a bold prediction. But, hey, who knows? If Deshaun Watson goes there, I actually wouldn't be so surprised with it. All right, that's all I'm going to say with Sean's prediction. Bold prediction, though. But you know what's not a bold prediction? The Super Bowl champions. Who wouldn't be surprised by the Bills winning the Super Bowl? I don't think I would be too surprised. Josh Allen, I think he's going to be great next year. That's a bold prediction. But I think it's right. Josh Allen's going to be even better next year. And look, let's see who the Bills draft too. I could agree with you guys. Who knows? They could draft a good wide receiver, who knows? But this, I think they could be Super Bowl champions of next year. I'll agree with that. So I think Buffalo Bills are the Super Bowl champs of next year. I'm going to agree with Sean on that one. Now, the Giants. Okay, so for the episode, I kind of was like, really, after the season, I was like, 6-10 is not too bad. And then I was kind of thinking just now, 6-10, but I think I'm going to go 7-9 for the reason that I think the Giants will draft a wide receiver. If we draft a wide receiver, I just think we're going to get 7 wins this season instead of 6 of last season, 7-9. again, probably not going to make the playoffs, but there you go. Yeah, so that's kind of what I think. I think the Giants could draft somebody maybe like Jalen Waddle if he gets up to that pick. I've heard talks in that they might get Kyle Pitts. I don't know about that fit for the reason that we have Ingram, though I know Ingram, everybody's going to agree with her. Haha, yeah, you can't catch a ball, but whatever. It doesn't matter right now. You don't know. Kyle Pitts can become a receiver too. Look, he's a great player, fantastic. But yeah, the Giants going 7-9. Hey Tom, how about them Jets? So Matt Manno, what do you think about them Patriots next year, and who's the Super Bowl champs in next year?
All right, so my Super Bowl prediction isn't exactly that bold. I think it's the Bills, but my MVP prediction is pretty bold. I think it's Josh Allen. I think it's gotta be breaking the Super Bowl and breaking the MVP curse for not winning a Super Bowl. I also think that if the Patriots can draft Kyle Pitts, I think if we can, I have him going to New England in my latest mock draft.
Whoa, wait a second. Where's your quarterback?
What, we can just, wait, Mac Jones, Kyle Trask at the Florida connection? I do think if we can nail the draft, we are a playoff team, 7 seed. That's all for me, Tom. What about you?
Well, Manno, I wouldn't be surprised if we see the Chiefs and Bucks back in a Super Bowl next year. That's my bold prediction. Keep on checking the B&B YouTube page for possible special episodes throughout the off season. And for the final time, I'm Tom Morrow. Stay safe and healthy. Thanks for watching B&B's Primetime Fantasy Report.
Let's go Jets!
Absolutely not. They suck.